Friends, comrades, Olympians, welcome to Project Hyperion, a new adventure in the world of Project Athena and Project Cronus, powered by Chaosium's Pulp Cthulhu system. I'm Allison Dillon Robinson, she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Oh no, wait. I won't be. I'll be playing the role of your keeper, the invisible hand molding and shaping this world. But before we can enter that world for the first time, let's say hello to our players. And let's start with Greg. Greg, how are you tonight? And how have you been since the end of Project Athena?
I don't know. Can you guys? Yep, I'm alive. I'm here. Still tech problems, everybody. I'm sad, but I'm happy. But I'm sad. I'm happy now. I was sad. Now I'm happy. So, can't wait. I'm going to be playing Michael, Mr. Fantastic Clevenger. We'll learn about him in a minute. Let's just figure out what makes him fantastic.
Looking forward to it. And don't worry, you'll be sad again. I'm sure it won't be long at all. Lauren, how are you this evening?
I'm fine. I'm great. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm super excited. Hey, everybody. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter. She, her pronouns. I am, again, excited. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. That's not going to go well. And I'm playing Lady Winifred Fred Sharp, who is an archaeologist, but more of the Laura Croft variety than like a good one. So I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling really good about it. Good. I'm sure it's good. Steven, my friend, have you recovered from Project Athena yet?
I'm here. How are you? I'm excited for this. Hey, I'm Steven, he, him pronouns. I'm playing a Marine. Shocker, another Marine. But this one is going to be a lot different than the last. And since we're in World War II, I had to play a Marine. So it just could not be. It just could not be. So I'm super pumped with this.
Thank you, Steven. Lindy, love the cosplay. I can't wait to hear how all this plays into your new character. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing super spiffy. I'm super excited for my new character. I'm going to be playing Claudia Luciano. She is a circus performer.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. And last but certainly not least, we have a new addition to the Sunday night crew. Don, how are you tonight?
You're muted.
Man, I'm so excited to be here. I love Project Athena. I love all these people. Getting to play in this game is a real treat for me, and I'm very much looking forward to playing Arturo Luciano, and also a circus performer and twin brother to Claudia.
Oh, this sounds like trouble. This sounds like serious trouble. Well, welcome to you all. Legion, welcome. So glad to have you with us tonight. Before we dive into the world, I'd love for you to scroll down. You'll see some of our new donations and opportunities for you to interact with the players, to have your own invisible hand at work, molding and shaping the world of Project Hyperion. Some new interesting things down there, so make sure you take a look. I'm not going to spend much time going over them right now because I just can't wait another second longer. So, here we go. When we last left, the world, it was in the early morning hours of January 1st, 1934, and that world was at peace. It was a peace secured by Sabella Ives, Elijah Sawyer, Dr. Greta von Krauss, Dwight Burke, and Kate O'Callahan, the brave Olympians of Project Athena. But even that night, unbeknownst to them, a new evil was stirring. Later that year, 1934, German Chancellor Adolf Hitler declared himself Führer, supreme leader, and proclaimed the birth of a new German empire, a Third Reich. The remilitarization of Germany in defiance of the Treaty of Versailles that ended World War I began in secret and in earnest. The following year, Benito Mussolini, leader of the fascist party in Italy, consolidated power behind himself as Il Duce and promptly ordered the invasion of Ethiopia unprovoked. Soon he would cast an eye on British holdings in Egypt, the first steps in a thinly veiled plan to establish a new Roman Empire. In the Far East, Emperor Hirohito of Japan ordered his forces to invade northeast China to liberate the local Manchu people from the Chinese, he said, and soon installed puppet regimes there and in Mongolia as well. By the end of the year, over 500,000 Japanese civilians had relocated to the Chinese mainland as colonists. And all the while, Japanese shipyards glowed with the acetylene glare of welding torches, day and night, night and day. In November of 1937, a secret meeting was held at the Eagle's Nest, Hitler's fortress high in the German Alps above Berchtesgaden. For the first time, the three leaders, Der Führer, Il Duce, and the reigning emperor, met face to face. They sat together in the living room, looking out floor-to-ceiling windows over the tops of snow-covered mountains, and together devised the plan by which they would divide the world among themselves. And in a small room down the hall, just off the kitchen, three of their deputies met to devise a plan of their own. The agreement that the three drafted that day, titled Principles of Cooperation in the Research, Recovery, and Utilization of Transmundane Artifacts, was signed by Rino Savoca of the Italian Office of Supernatural Affairs, Takai Jotaro of the Imperial Strategic Research Branch, and General Ludolf von Albenschleben of the German Ministry of the Occult. Not long afterward, Mussolini declared in a speech, "The entire globe revolves on a Rome-Berlin-Tokyo axis." And in the years that followed, the world watched in shock and in horror as the Axis powers pressed that prophecy toward fulfillment. And all the while, America slept. The Germans annexed the Sudetenland and marched thousands of troops into the demilitarized Rhineland. Italian soldiers attacked the British in Egypt. Japan attacked the Soviets in the north and massacred 250,000 people in the Chinese nationalist capital of Nanking. And still, America slept. The Imperial Japanese Army staged amphibious landings in French Indochina, establishing a foothold from which to threaten the British in Burma and India. In Europe, German tanks crashed across the Polish border in the east and Belgium and Netherlands in the west. The Blitzkrieg had begun. And still, America slept. In 1940, aircraft carriers and battleships flying the rising sun of Imperial Japan ruled the waves in the Pacific. The Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, owned the skies over London. France had fallen. The British stood alone in Europe. The Gestapo built a wall around the Jewish district in Warsaw, trapping 400,000 Jews in a single square mile and then cut off the water. But still, America slept. And then, on Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, at the Pearl Harbor Naval Base in Hawaii Territory, the bombs began to fall, and America woke up. Greg, tell us about Michael Clevenger. What is he like? What was he doing when he heard the news? And how did it make him feel?
Michael Clevenger works for the U.S. Army Signal Corps, and he's their man on the street as the think tank stays back in the nest of New York City and helps decipher all of the strange tales that seem to be coming out at this time. And with the world, many places, as you just described, on the brink of war, it was the story of America, the story of its participation or lack thereof, that had drawn Michael and his group into action. And it was a story, a rumor, or a lead that his group had received that the Japanese planned to attack the harbor in Hawaii. That he went down to Washington and was trying to petition to get into the press corps for the White House to somehow warn FDR to get through the malaise and the red tape of getting a formal sit down with a pressed and tired president. But as he was in line, slamming his fist down on some pencil pusher's desk that was trying desperately to get rid of this army whoever, the news broke, and there was no way to stop what had already started. And so he simply stood in the heart and seat of American power and watched them all tremble.
Lauren, what about Fred?
Oh, dear. Let me paint you a little picture of Fred Sharp. Fred was in Beverly Hills at the home of actor Vinnie Pierce, her fiance, friend, it's unclear. She was on the deck tanning in a form-fitting white one-piece, cat-eye sunglasses, shielding her violet eyes from the California sun. Her dark wavy hair was pulled half back. There was a small party going on. She watched Vinny float in the pool, talking up some pretty guy, as was his way, only coming to her side when a camera appeared. She had books and maps spread on the beach chair in front of her. She was craving the thrill of the chase again. Vinny wouldn't mind. He probably wouldn't even notice. She certainly wasn't going to make a name for herself soaking up the California sun all day. The radio was set to samba music, which abruptly crackled, and then the emergency broadcast came through. Her first thought was, it's followed me across the pond like a wolf with a scent. She had left England when the rumors first started. The smell of war was like something rotting, and she could smell it again. Vinny came over and put a hand on her shoulder, but his eyes were still far away. He enlisted the next day. I began packing. And I had a terrible thought. At least life wouldn't be so endlessly dull anymore.
What about John Haynes, Stephen? Where was he?
John Derby Haynes, Derby as his nickname is, was in the Philippines in 1941. He was a corporal at the time. He was learning his craft. He had been there probably a little less than a year and a half before then. He was stationed there. The war was imminent in a lot of those guys' eyes. Tensions with Japan, he'd hear rumors. John is not, in the backstory of John is not from New York. He's not from Hollywood. He's not highfalutin. He's from Kentucky. He was adopted. He has been basically struggling to pull his boots up. And when wartime came, or the thought of war came, he decided it was time to join, because that's the best place for him, because he had nowhere else really to be. So him and his squad mates, they were prepared. They had talked, and he feels like a horse in a barn. He's ready to get unleashed and ready to run. That was when all the news hit that the attack of Pearl Harbor came about. It was go time in his mind. So that's pretty much what he was doing, preparing for war.
Kentucky Derby Haynes. Got it.
He's a fast one.
Arturo, Claudia, were you together when the news broke? Who would like to begin to tell your tale?
Oh, sure. Claudio and Arturo, they were doing their circus act in the big top. They were juggling, things were on fire, trapezes was being swung. It was quite the show. And then the circus kind of had their halftime break. They noticed some of the audience was getting a little restless near the end of their performance, and they came out to the dressing room, and that's when they found out what had happened. The news that Pearl Harbor had been attacked during the halftime at the circus performance.
For Arturo, he remembers that day because it started with him opening up and reading front cover to back cover a new book. And this is a book that was written in France, translated into Italian, his natural language, not yet translated for an English audience, but the English would come to know it as The Little Prince. And he had read this book on that day, December 7th. And they were doing their act where he throws up his knives and they catch on fire, and Claudia jumps off of a trampoline through the fire and swings on a trapeze. And then he remembers there was an accident that day at the circus after intermission, after they found out the news, and 6 people died. And he remembers the smile of a boy. He remembers going into the tent and smiling up at him. And when he thinks of Pearl Harbor, it's that boy's smile that he remembers first.
I wonder about that accident, Arturo. And so, in the weeks that followed, as America entered a war for which it was woefully unprepared, each one of you received a summons of sorts. For Mr. Fantastic, Michael Clevenger, and Derby Haynes, it came in the form of official orders for deployment to the Far East. Under receiving unit on those orders, they simply read Project Hyperion. No additional details. For Professor Sharp and the Luciano twins, it was a personal visit from Mr. Archimedes Teague of the Army Office of Strategic Services, informing you that your nation required your, shall we say, special talents for a mission of extreme importance to the war effort. And you were really given no option but to volunteer. And so your paths slowly began to converge. Fred, Claudia, Arturo, you made your way separately to Pearl Harbor, and then were sent by ship across the South Pacific to Australia. At Darwin, on the northern Australian coast, you disembarked and were directed immediately to a British flying boat, a former passenger liner pressed into military service. Clevenger, Haynes, you made your way to Darwin via military transport. And as the others board the plane, you are already there, each of you napping after the long trip. Other than the pilot and the first officer and the navigator, all three of whom are Royal Air Force officers, the five of you are the only ones aboard. You pass the night in solitude, sleeping or not, as you're able. And then, as the glow of the approaching dawn begins to color the horizon off the starboard wing, you hear one another beginning to stir. It is Monday, March 16th, 1942, and this new world war is about to become your own. Olympians, what would you like to do?
Fred stretches out in her seat and adjusts her way too tight and tailored dress for this plane and kind of looks around at everyone else, probably giving the most friendly look to the fellow woman on board, and kind of leans forward as the sun's coming up. So, are we going to talk to one another? Are we going to keep doing this silence and, nods, enigmatic nods at each other?
No, I am perfectly agreeable to talk with you.
I thought you might. I would love that. I thought you might be. Hi, Fred.
Hello, my name is Claudia.
Beautiful. And you two have been together the whole time.
Oh, yes, I am Arturo. Claudia, she is my sister.
Adorable. Fascinating.
How y'all doing? I'm Sergeant John. They call me Derby. Haynes. How are you all doing?
Quite well. Yourself?
You two are Italian, I see.
We are American.
Oh, you're American? Oh, the only Italians I know are from New York, and them guys are hot under the collar, let me tell you.
Oh, not us.
No, not at all.
Well, pleasure to meet you.
We have mostly come from the Midwest. Wisconsin, Devil's Lake.
What were you doing there? What's out there? Is there anything out there?
But our uncle, Papa Giovanni, he lives there. He is a pizza shop.
A lot of cheese.
That is true.
Well, you can probably tell I'm from Kentucky.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
A lovely state.
It's beautiful.
What's out there?
What's out where? In Kentucky?
Yes.
Horses. Open range. Beautiful trees and green grass and just the best things in the world. And he kind of spits out, he's got a cup and he spits out a little bit of tobacco. Don't mind me. It's a beautiful place. I'd love to show you guys.
I've already seen it a couple of times.
Oh, you've been to Kentucky. Nice.
So we've got Mr. Haynes from the land of horses.
Derby. Call me Derby, please. Please call me Derby.
I'm going to try. Derby. And we've got Claudia and Arturo from the land of cheese. And what about you?
Corporal Michael Clevenger. Pleasure.
I can't hear you.
I cannot hear you.
He's doing the enigmatic nodding.
Yes, we are C.
I'm sorry. I was muted for everybody, but the important people.
We don't need to know.
Corporal Michael Clevenger. Nice to meet you. I'm from New York.
Ah.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Derby.
So, anyone know anything about what we're doing?
We're in Project Hyperion, right?
But we are very excited to be a part of it. Honored even, really.
Yes, very proud to serve our country.
Right.
Miss
You know-
Keeper, I'd like to make the first roll of the game.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna do a little of psycho on the proud to be part of the country, rah horse shit I've been hearing coming from the Italians. So,
Oh, Jesus Christ, Greg.
tell me everything, you liars.
Artura's Ernest.
And
He looks nervous. He's shifting around a little bit. He has a book in his hands. This one is The Velveteen Rabbit, and he's thumbing through the pages as he talks. It's just like a nervous twitch that you'd probably notice.
yes,
Yeah. Claudia is also earnest but a little nervous. Earnest but nervous.
On earnestity. So does anybody know what we're doing here? I got sent here and they told me you come. There is no if and buts or Jesus. Jesus said you come, I go. That's what happened.
well, let's a fun little exercise, everybody. We know who we are and where we came from, but what do we do? If maybe we know what we do, we can reverse engineer why they put us all together and why we're here.
Ooh, deduction, fun.
Yeah.
I'm here to kill Japanese. That's what I'm here to do.
Okay, well, you're a murderer then. Everybody else?
I'm sorry, Mr. Haynes. Is that your goal?
No,
in life?
I'm just kidding. I'm here to blow up Japanese. I'm a demolition expert.
There we go.
Oh,
Anybody else
Okay.
make things blow up? Doc?
Oh, yep, you're talking to me. That's right. No, I don't blow things up. And she kind of tucks her hair behind one ear, and you can see part of it kind of torn off. And then she fixes it back over. I'm an archaeologist. Some specialty in ancient Chinese culture.
Ni hao.
She
That
raises
means-
her eyebrows and smiles.
What's that mean?
And you two?
Oh, we are Italian descent, as you
Yep,
know.
got
So that possibly that is what we will do. Something with that. Also, we are very athletic.
Very.
We used to perform in the circus.
The big top.
The big top, the Ringling Brothers.
I love the
Mhm.
circus. I love it. It's a
Oh.
what fun.
Mm.
The group home I was in used to take me to the circus. Oh man.
Oh,
I
perhaps
love
you've
it.
seen us enact before, Dennis. We have been through Kentucky a few times.
Oh no. I never seen you two. Believe me, I remember you two. Believe me.
Well, we do have a costume on when we are when we are performing.
You may remember, I set the knives on fire and I throw them up and I catch them again and again. And Claudia, oh, she,
Well, Arturo is the more interesting one, obviously. I do a little bit of trapeze work. I do other few tricks. Oh, and I can do this. And she's just gonna bend over backwards in half and look at them from between her legs.
Derby kind of nudges Michael. Oh, I'm going to like this group, I think.
Michael takes a picture. Take.
Is that what you do?
What's that? Take
Bam.
pictures? Yes,
Photography.
I'm with the U.S. Army Signal Corps.
Oh,
Got it. Right.
that suits you. That suits you.
I'll take it as a compliment.
It was, sir. Definitely.
Right. So, can anyone deduce anything from that hodgepodge of occupations?
Perhaps we need a wide variety of things done, and she's gonna unfold herself, but like legs kicking back over. She's not gonna bend backwards up. She's gonna.
I definitely would have remembered you.
We're here to blow up an ancient circus, and I get to write about it.
Huh.
That's good.
That
It
is
is mysterious, very.
Quite.
Have the boys up front said anything?
As if on cue, the door from the cockpit opens, and the man that you recognize as one of the air crew steps out. He's holding a mug full of steaming coffee, and you can smell the coffee coming from the galley. Well, good morning. I see you're awake.
Good morning.
Uniform on?
He does, as a matter of fact. You would actually give me an intelligence roll, please.
Everybody or just Derby?
Anybody that wants.
Sure, that should be.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, let's all see these. These should be good.
Okay,
Ooh,
nobody look.
Hard.
Derby's a dummy.
Nice. Look at us.
Extreme.
We got 2 hards and an extreme.
We do. Corporal Clevenger, you would recognize the rank that he's wearing as that of a Royal Air Force captain. This is probably the pilot. And Claudia, you recognize this as well. Perhaps someone that you've bumped into at some point on some of your USO touring?
A little bit.
Well, there's coffee if you'd like it.
Loves a cup of coffee.
What about tea?
Ah. Well, there's tea if you'll make it. Galley's right through here.
You got any bourbon back there?
I'm afraid not.
I like one of them Irish coffees, as they call it.
Fred kind of tilts her head at Derby and like puts her hand on her lip and winks at him.
You got it, sweetie. You got it.
Great. I'll make tea. Wonderful.
Though Michael is no stickler for rules and regulations, the fact that there was a suggestion of drinking at the very least during the workday is interesting. So he makes note of like that as he does everything else, and just sits back to observe his newfound compatriots.
The captain stands for just a moment as if he's sort of sizing you up, and then says, well, there's no steward on board. You're going to have to serve yourselves.
Just
And he
point
presses...
the coffee.
That's no problem,
Galley's-
sir. Thank you very much.
Galley's right back there, and he presses by and makes his way toward the head in the back of the plane.
Arturo, would you like a cup of coffee?
Yes, thank you.
She'll go back and make herself and her brother a cup of coffee.
I'll go with Claudia.
Arturo leans back against the side of the metal side there and just opens up his book to where his thumb had randomly stopped off on a page and starts reading from that page.
Derby will turn to Michael. So what's the word? Signal Corps. We got any news of what's going on around here?
Apparently there is another great war starting. That's all the news.
No shit, Sherlock. I don't even Sherlock was around. Oh, no shit.
Yeah, Sherlock was around.
Okay, maybe he was. Listen, we gotta look out for each other, man. I mean, you're an Army man, I'm a Marine man. We're bonded, brother.
Are we? Well,
We will be, maybe. I don't know. We're
that's
here for
good.
some reason.
What are you thinking? Who do we got to look out for here?
We gotta look out for each other, definitely.
All right. Should we look out for the other people that are here, or should we just focus on each other?
Now they seem okay to me. I mean, I like all three of them already, but I'm easy to please.
You seem it. Well, I mean, we can, sure, we can look out for each other, and then we can look out for them. And
If you're being serious or not.
we can. I'm absolutely serious. You want to look out? Let's look out. That's my thing. Looking out.
You're a lookout, huh? Okay, sounds good.
Instead of a lookout, not a lookout.
Well, where are you coming from?
New York.
No, New York. That doesn't surprise me. Have you seen any action?
Oh, plenty. I'm from New York.
Fair enough.
As the conversation continues, the captain squeezes back by down the aisle. As he's about to go back through the door toward the galley in the cockpit, he turns and says, "Well, we're about 4 hours out of Calcutta. That's as far as we go. We were informed that you would be met there and carried on to wherever it is that you're headed. Expect it to be a fairly smooth flight. Sit back, relax. We'll be there soon enough."
Thank you.
And he
Thank you.
Michael's going to take a moment to saunter over to Arturo. I don't mean to bother you. I see that you're reading, though.
Oh, it is no bother. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you, now if you pardon me saying, are you teaching yourself the language?
Oh, no. I have lived in America for 12 years. I speak the language very well. I just happen to like this book. It is comforting.
Like the Velveteen Rabbit itself.
Yes, you are familiar.
I am. And please don't take that the wrong way. I have a lot of friends that have come over from various spots, and to acclimate themselves with the written word of English, they tend to work their way up in literature. And I thought perhaps that's what you were doing. But apologies.
Oh, no. No need to apologize. I read this book when I was younger, and I read it now, and it still brings me the same joy.
Oh, well, what was happening in your life when you read it the first time?
Oh, yeah. Well, I come to America, and I meet my new family, Giovanni, and he gave me this book. It was his first gift.
Giovanni, you say?
Yes.
That's nice. Gifts are nice. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And he puts his hand out. Michael Clevenger.
Arturo will push up along the back and stand up to as well as he can and lean forward. He's much larger when he stands than he looks when he's sitting down. He's very muscularly built, 6'1", so not a giant, but he's a very large man, and broad-shouldered, athletically built. He leans in, and with a big smile, he grabs Michael's hand and gives it a firm shake, and he's got a very strong handshake as well.
It is very nice to meet you. Everyone here seems very kind.
Well, let's hope that sticks.
With that, we'll cut to the galley, where Claudia and Fred are making tea and serving coffee.
And spiking one of those coffees. Subtly, as I do all things. Subtly.
So, what did you do before you got into archaeology?
Oddly enough, I was a fencer.
Like with the swords?
I specialized in sabers. I still collect.
My brother and I, we have an act in the circus where when we were in the circus, we did a swords act. It was very exciting. He did the juggling, and I did the swallowing.
I'm sorry, you can swallow swords. Not like euphemistically, like actually.
How else? But actually. Okay, now how does one theoretically swallow a sword?
That's a very fair point. So he juggles them.
He's a very good juggler. See, I could demonstrate if you like, and she'll just pull out like from the galley. I'm guessing there's utensils here.
Yeah.
She'll just like grab a long like wooden spoon or something and just slip it down. And then she'll pull it out.
And it's clap. Wow.
I should wash this before putting it back.
Yes, definitely. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of blown away by that and still confused as to why we're here together.
I could not tell you.
No.
But we're very happy to be here.
You seem it. You seem very happy. I was not disappointed, but surprised.
Well, surprise can lead to joy many times.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can, Claudia. Right, so maybe we better get back.
Sure. She'll be drying off the spoon and putting it back in like the utensil rack. And
I'll show you my saber when we get back, because I would be fascinated to see if you could do that.
Oh, it just depends on the length and the width.
Right, it usually does.
Captain opens the door to the galley where you are. It's very tight, and so you have to turn so that he can squeeze by. Ladies, we're about 5 hours out of Calcutta. When we land, we were told that you would be met there. That's as far as we go, back to Australia then. In the meantime, anything in the galley is yours. Please feel free to help yourselves, and if you need anything, just come up and knock. Navigator station's right through that door.
Grazie.
Ta.
Can I get a listen check from all of our Olympian
No,
police?
you can't.
No.
You can't. This game, you can't get one.
Derby's deaf from all the explosions.
Sure. Fred's too self-involved to listen to anything.
Mr. Fantastic. He can hear it.
Claudia can hear it, and Arturo can really hear it.
Arturo, in fact, is the only one who can hear this. At first, it's almost... it just sort of fades into the noise of the engines and the hydraulics, but then quickly, Arturo, you notice that this is different from the sound you've been hearing. This is a high-pitched whine that then turns into a scream. And with that, I need a luck roll from every player, please. Arturo, you can make yours with advantage.
Okay.
Starting early. Starting early.
Extreme.
Extreme! Friend.
Galley's the place to be.
I have not had one good one yet.
Mr. Fantastic is lucky.
He is. Go ahead.
Oh, Arturo, as he's looking around, he hears whatever he hears. He claps his book shut and his hand starts shaking just a little bit, and he looks a little scared.
What's wrong, Arturo?
Before he can answer, the plane rocks to the left hard and then rocks back to the right. And those of you who failed your luck rolls, can I get a D4 from you, please? Two for Arturo, 4 for Derby. Arturo, who is hadn't refastened his seatbelt perhaps after rising to greet Mr. Fantastic. Derby probably never had his on, and as the plane rocks, you are both thrown to one bulkhead and then to the other bulkhead. Arturo taking 2 points of damage, Derby taking 4. The rest of you are able to hold on as
I would
the
like
nose.
to note
Go
that the tray with the beverages stays perfectly level in Fred's hands because
With our
she's a lady.
Yeah.
She is a lady.
We're gonna need it.
Yeah, Claudia's
As in
gonna
fact.
get back to the cabin, holding on the whole way to make sure Arturo's okay.
The nose of the aircraft pitches sharply downward, and you can begin to smell, is it fuel? Is it smoke? You're not sure. Can I have a spot hidden from anybody who'd like to make one?
Sure.
Alec, I get to make those with advantage.
Yes.
It's like,
This is not going well.
thank God. Hard success.
Regular success.
Mr. Fantastic spots things hard.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that.
Those successes as you look out of the windows to the east from the direction of the rising sun, you see first 1, then 2, then 3 aircraft, small fighters probably, and then immediately blazing fire from their wings as their guns take on your unarmed passenger plane one more time.
Holy shit, hold on! Clevenger yells from his little window.
What the hell do we do?
Hope we don't die. That's what hope we don't do.
Claudia.
And
Arturo.
Arturo's like trying to scale
Yeah,
across
she's-
the wall to find Claudia.
She's climbing over to make sure he's all right. Got a bump.
Can I use I'll make another roll if you need, but can I use the spot hidden? He's looking for shoots. Because if there's 3, there's no chance.
Why don't you make another, since that spot hidden got you out the window?
Sure. Phew, I must have been looking out the window too long.
It's hard to focus on anything at this point as the plane pitches wildly to the left and to the right, and the nose dips even further toward the ground.
Oh, no.
We got a goddamn gun turret here.
Shoots! Find shoots!
Parachutes!
I will make a spot hidden for a shoot.
Oh.
Extreme, finally.
Finally, Steven.
This is a spot hidden.
My bad.
His camera, he was so excited.
Hey everybody, we'll be right back. Hold on one sec.
Cat.
Despite the extreme success, you're not able to see any parachutes in the passenger compartment where you are. It's becoming harder and harder to hold on at this point.
New York, there ain't no goddamn parachutes. I've looked.
Can I go up to the cockpit?
You can try.
I will do that.
How about a dexterity check for me then, please?
Okay. Success.
You managed to make your way back into the galley, dropping the cups along the way.
Sure, fine.
And you pull open the door to a sight that you never thought you would see and that you hope you will never see again.
Mm-hmm.
Out the cockpit windows, you see nothing but ocean. You are headed almost straight down. And with that, I'd like a sanity roll, please.
Come on! Oh, you were so lucky. Great. This is fun. This is the most fun I've had in ages.
One of the members of the crew is on the floor. He appears to be unconscious. The pilot and co-pilot are in their seats, and they are fighting with the wheel and trying to pull up out of this death dive.
Well, keep on, lads. Do I see any chutes around?
How about a spot hidden?
Okay. I get advantage. Thank God. Regular success.
You see two parachutes. There's one strapped to the back of each of the seats of the pilot and the co-pilot.
Great. I'm gonna take those.
All right.
I have every
let you-
confidence. Every confidence.
The other officer, the co-pilot, turns back around. Get back to your seats. Strap in.
I plan to. I go.
How about one more? Well, where are you headed?
Back to the others.
How about one more dex check for me then, please?
Okay.
You manage to make your way with great
I'm
aplomb
also wearing heels, just so everyone knows.
back to the passenger compartment. At this point, in the passenger compartment, you can definitely smell both smoke and what smells like gasoline, perhaps.
Oof.
Arturo and Claudia have gotten to each other now at this point.
Yes.
She would feel that she would see that he's sweating. And
Mm-hmm.
he looks very, very scared.
Just sit down, strapping. Everything will be just fine. I'm sure here. And she's gonna like sit him down into a chair.
What is happening?
I do not know. It's problem with the plane. The plane. I don't know. We took boat over. I don't like planes.
He smells the gasoline through his nostrils.
Claudia.
I don't know what we can do about it. I smell it too.
Fred arrives back, holding up the two chutes, like climbing kind of up since they were diving. I think we're a little bit, what's the word? Fucked.
We are definitely fucked. But it's been a pleasure knowing all of you. We got to go now? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's fucking do this.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd like to know all of you quite a bit more before we say goodbye. I don't know. Does anyone know planes?
No.
No.
A loud explosion rocks the passenger compartment as a large section of the cabin over your head is torn away as bullets begin to tear this fuselage apart. Luck rolls again from everyone, please.
Okay.
Tina.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know. Hard success.
Mr.
Claudia.
Fantastic is extremely lucky.
He is tonight. Claudia and Arturo and Derby. D4 for me, please.
Oh, we rolled it twice.
Arturo, you take 3 points. Claudia, 2. And Derby, 2 additional points of damage as shrapnel from the plane itself hits you.
Are any of the flight crew dead?
You're not able to see from where you're sitting. There are 2 doors ahead of you in the cockpit.
One of them's unconscious up front.
There begins to pray. Our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. My kingdom come, I will be done.
Okay.
Claudia is strapped in. Arturo, she's made sure Arturo's strapped in. Being in the circus, she's used to like harnesses and restraints, so that was super easy. And she's kind of holding onto Arturo's hand, like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, he's like squeezing her hand.
Fred, you're gonna have to stop this because Clevenger's going to grab one of the chutes, throw it on you, and start strapping you, and grab the other one and throw it at the Italian trapeze artist. As Claudia, he needs to perhaps chivalry is dying but not quite dead with Mike Clevenger. Get these on. We gotta throw something out first. They're gonna go right after anybody that drops from this plane.
How many do you think one of these can hold?
Maybe one.
Oh.
Fuck it, we gotta try. Put the goddamn thing on, Fantastic. Arturo, you're a big fucker. Take the thing. And you put it on, hold your sister. Mr. Fantastic, me and you, one of us is fucked. You guys go. I'll take it. Just give me one of them cigarettes you got there.
No, we can hold on to each other, yes?
See,
There's no way on earth that 3 people can hold on to each other with a fuck it, we'll try it. And he puts on, he's like, he throws it to Fantastic. You put it on.
No.
No, you put it on, I hold on to you. It's fine. You look
Right.
strong-ish.
Who's the biggest
Spot.
one?
Let me get spot hiddens all around, please.
Hey.
I spot hidden well.
Regular.
I spot hard.
I fail as usual.
Oh, baby.
Those of you who succeed out the window, you can see ocean for as far as the eye can see. But out the port side, out the left window of the airplane, an island. And just as you notice it, the plane banks hard to the left, so hard that that you can feel your blood begin to pool on the left side of your body. The centrifugal forces feel like they're going to pull you apart. Who all said that they were strapped in at this point? I heard that from Claudia and Arturo.
Michael put mine on.
I've been thrown around this whole fucking plane, so.
Yeah, Mike jumped up to help he couldn't possibly be strapped in.
Mike, give me an intelligence, would you please?
Tell me everything.
You know at this point that even if you were to get those chutes on and get to a door, you're too low for it to make any difference.
Okay. Put as much between us and the water as we can, so that's all he's going to say. Forget the parachutes, put them in front of you, get to the back of the plane, because if we're nose down, just as much fuselage as we can put for how it compacts when it hits, or if it's going to break, we'll lose the tail, but that's a good thing because the fuel should be in the wings. So if we can just get to the back.
All right. I make sure I grab my bag.
Is it even
Okay.
possible to move to the back with the amount of force that's going on, or are we straightened
Right.
out of it? We stopped banking.
Have we leveled out, or are we going down?
Now, you're still going down at a pretty steep clip. It will be very challenging to get far beyond the seats that you're near at this point.
Okay. I think Claudia's going to say, we are strapped in to stay here. Relax. Because she's been in a lot of falls and trapeze accidents, and so she knows if you brace for it, usually it's worse. And so she's going to just kind of go into fall mode and just kind of go limp.
I just want to say, y'all, I'm sorry for all the shit I've ever done, and to that goddamn car wreck. That was not my fault. Jesus Christ, here we go. It don't fucking matter no more.
Can we fight back against the other planes?
I asked that earlier, but I don't think we have anything.
I don't think there are any guns.
Just harsh language. He lights a cigarette and hands it over to Fred.
Thank you. Yeah, she'll take it and just kind of quietly to herself as she gets in position. I'm not dying today.
You look out the windows and see the ocean rushing up. The plane pitches wildly left and right. It's an odd optical illusion over the ocean. At every second, it feels as though you're about to impact, but then you realize there's still some distance to go. You can't catch your breath. But then, as if by some miraculous force, it begins to feel as though the plane is leveling out. You're pressed back into your seats harder and harder. You're about to pass out. And then the crash. Not from the front, but from underneath. The plane skips across the water like a stone. Up and down, up and down. You're thrown around and battered. And then darkness. You shake yourselves for a moment and realize you're still alive. You can still smell smoke, still smell fuel. The engines are silent. And through the hole in the top of the fuselage, you see blue sky. And is that the sound of the ocean lapping against the shore that you hear?
We got to get out. Clevenger looks around to see if anybody's alive. We got to get out.
Claudia.
Fred's still smoking.
Are we all awake, Allison?
Mhm.
You are.
She'll start to unbuckle herself and Arturo.
Yeah, Arturo pushes up as soon as he's unbuckled and offers a hand to Claudia.
Claudia, are you all right?
I will be fine. I am perfectly fine. Are you okay? I've had many falls. This is fine. This is fine.
He's sweating profusely.
We have to go, Claudia. We have to go now.
Let's get out. Come on. She's just going to kind of hold his arm and kind of look for a way we can get out through, whether it be through the top or through a gash in the side or a door or something. You're muted.
Sorry, the hatch that you entered through is in the far rear of the plane.
Okay.
There's another hatch close to the front that you saw as you were in the galley. And of course, there's a gaping hole in the fuselage over your heads.
Mm-hmm. Does the plane seem to be sinking at all, or does it feel like we're on land?
It feels pretty stable.
Claudia, just to get an idea of where we're at, she's going to go through the top. Just kind of climb to the top.
Darby, you know explosives. Are we in danger of anything exploding?
Demolition?
Yeah.
Yes.
Leg up. She's going to just whoop, pull herself up.
Mhm.
Climb.
Clevenger's going to check and see if anybody else is alive in the flight crew.
All right. Let's start with Claudia. You pull yourself up through the hole in the fuselage, being very careful on the jagged metal. To the front, toward the cockpit, you see beach, and a stretch of beach that's perhaps 50 feet wide, leading into jungle. If you, are you just taking a quick look, or do you want to really see what you can see here?
She'll kind of take a look to see what she can see.
Okay, how about a spot hidden then?
Okay, yeah.
There's the smoke still coming from the engines. The wind is kind of blowing it into your eyes. It's difficult to see from where you are. It's definitely an island, though.
Okay, she'll kind of climb back down. We have landed on an island.
Yeah. Good.
There is a beach, there is a jungle. We should grab things and get off of the plane in case plane. I don't know if it is going to do anything else.
Hey, yes, Claudia, and he'll start grabbing, like, if they have suitcase or luggage or bags, he'll start grabbing them and trying to, like, throw them up or hand them up to Claudia so she can pull them out.
Throw them on the beach.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Bags?
Yeah,
We've
Fred
landed.
has hers.
We got goddamn bags?
Clevenger's got a duffel, but I mean, he's pretty much F that right now. He's going to check up front. He's got his cigarettes and his gun. I'm good.
I'm going to do demolitions or whatever you want me to do to check to see if this thing's going to blow completely.
Okay, hold that for a second. Let's go to Mr. Fantastic. You make your way up to the cockpit. The door is closed.
This is not lit. He puts it behind his ear and he's going to force it open. Hello? Hello? Any of you Brits alive?
Doesn't take much. You're able to get it open. And as you do, you see that the cockpit glass has been shattered. You see one member of the aircrew who is lying on the deck. He's not moving. In the right-hand seat, the co-pilot's seat, the person who's sitting there, you can't see them from the front, but they're slumped forward into their harness and not moving. In the left-hand seat is the man that you recognize as the pilot who came back a little bit earlier. He does seem to be stirring a bit.
Okay, well, I'll focus efforts on him, unfortunately. He's going to get closer and try to unstrap this guy and, like, firemen's carry him out of here. You know, make sure he's not, like, suffering from a broken neck or something like that. If he can be moved, he's going to try to just, even if he, honest to the guy, even if he can, he's just going to try to get him out.
All right. You approach him, and he looks up to you. I can't feel anything. I can't feel my feet.
All right, well, let's get out on the beach out here. You got us down. I don't know how you set this bird down, but you set it down. Let's get you out of here.
No. No. I don't. Radio's not working. I think the antenna must have been sheared off in the landing. We're on Cassiabar Island. There's a radio tower on the mountain. Saw it as we came down. If you get the transmitter, take it to the tower. You can call for rescue from there.
All right. But let's. He looks around for the transmitter. I'm assuming it's a pull out, like one of the grab and clicks from the. Is it still there? Is the transmitter still there?
He'll point it out to you where it is, just above the navigator station. to the right rear.
Okay, yeah. Clevenger will pull it out and then turn back to him. All right, let's get you. He starts to unbuckle him.
No. Leave me, Yank. I just leave me. Get to the top of the island. Call for rescue.
That's brave and valiant, but I'm not going to do that. And he just keeps pulling him out. He gets him underneath the armpits and lifts him up and begins to kind of walk him back out of, because he can still smell the smoke, and he doesn't need Derby to tell him this place could blow up any second. He's not leaving somebody. He's not leaving somebody alive, you know.
As you lift him up, he passes out.
Oh. Okay. He's gonna carry him on out. As far as he can get him.
All right. What's everyone else up to at this point?
Fred was waiting for the others to get back, but she'll start scrambling out. They're on land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Yeah, she'll scramble out after the twins with her bag. Did Arturo take his book with him? Because if he didn't, she'll grab it.
He took his bag, but you would see that his book must have fallen out of his pants line and landed into the like where he was sitting in the hangar bay.
She picks it up and then follows them out.
Yeah, Derby will grab his shotgun. He's got a strap on it. He throws it on his back, and he grabs his little duffel bag that he's got. And he sees that Mr. Fantastic is helping the pilot out. He will go assist him to get anybody else out that needs to be out, and he will also exit because he knows this. Like he said, this is not a no-brainer. Get the hell out of this plane as fast as possible.
Right, and when Derby comes up to help, Clevenger will tell him, you know, he can't feel his feet. And then he's going to kind of share the load and grab his own duffel and throw it over his shoulder as he takes him out.
We got to get, no doubt, let's get him out of here now.
All right. So you're all at this point, you've all made your way out of the plane through the hole in the fuselage. All right. You slide down onto the wing. And from there, you're able to sort of walk along the wing to relatively close to the shore. It's just a 3 or 4 foot jump down to the shore from there. As you look at the aircraft, it's a wonder that it didn't fly apart in the air. There's practically no tail left. There's massive holes through both wings. And it's clearly leaking fuel out of the wing opposite you. But it doesn't seem to be on fire at this point.
Can I spot the sky?
Can we see the planes? Yeah, go ahead.
Say that again?
Spot for the planes that shot us down.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say too.
They're going to be strafing the shit out of this if they see us.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see some spot hidden rolls.
Can I listen?
Certainly.
Since I heard the sounds before.
Yeah.
I succeeded finally.
Nice. You don't see or hear anything at this point. The sky seems to be clear.
We still should get to shelter. I don't see the planes, but man, we got to still get some sort of cover out of here. We got to get off the beach.
That is the jungle.
Yeah.
It is not safe here, so close to the plane. We should go.
But don't go too far in the jungle, though. Let's not go too far. Let's just get under cover.
Is there we're next to the beach, right?
You are. The plane is beached with the nose up in the sand and the wings just out over the water. Fred, as you are climbing across the wing, you look out to the east. And what you're able to see is that the beach that you have crash landed on is sort of part of a bay, sort of a U-shaped bay. Your plane seems to be at one end of the U on the western side, but as you follow the beach around to the east, you can see what looks like perhaps a village. And then beyond it, out on a point, you see a small light. Perhaps it's a lighthouse. As you look across the island, you see a peak, 2 peaks, in fact. The one on the east seems to have a radio tower that stands up off of the top of it. The one on the west does not, but they're both quite rocky at the top. The jungle ends close to the top, and they're very rocky.
She will, from on top of the wing, before she drops down, kind of points all of this out. There's a village that way, and a light, and there's a radio tower up there if anybody's up for a little climb.
That's what he said. Get to the radio tower. I've got the transmitter. We can call for somebody.
I'm very good at climbing.
Well, if he needs help, and he looks like he does, maybe, I mean, is anyone at the radio tower? Because there's a village. Maybe they can help?
There's nobody coming out at us from the village?
He said that we were on Casabar Island. Is that in friendly territory?
Is it, Allie?
Let's see. If you a decent case for having that level of knowledge of the Bay of Bengal, then I'll let you roll for it.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Why not?
What do we even roll?
I'd
Okay,
roll history, maybe.
Why don't you roll either intelligence or history? I'm going to need a hard success on intelligence, though, from anyone. Mr. Fantastic.
Constantly hard.
I think hard.
You are hard all the time.
Mr. Fantastic and Professor Sharp, you recognize this name. Cassiabar is a small island in a chain of islands in the Bay of Bengal. You are about 400 miles or so south of Calcutta, which is where the pilot said you were headed. And whether this island is in Allied or Japanese control at this point, it's hard to say. There are so many small islands here in the South Pacific and in the Bay of Bengal that you don't know. It's hard to say.
Why would he tell us to go to? Well, maybe Radio Tower is safer. We don't know who is on this island.
I would even know that.
He saw it, right?
He didn't explain.
Is this a good island or a bad island?
That
I don't know, son.
The $1 million question.
I could go to the village. I could be good or I could be bad.
Hey, fuck it, we're all alive, man. I can't even believe we're alive. I mean, God damn,
I'm sorry.
we're alive.
I want to circle back to that. You can be bad?
Well, I can pretend to be a bad guy.
Yes.
You are Italian.
I know the pilot is in a terrible amount of pain, but could you just demonstrate that right now?
Yes. Mussolini is good. I like the things that he does.
He's a great political leader. Hitler's bene, very good.
I like Mussolini.
And Japan is great too.
Japanese, they are a friends.
Very good friends.
Jesus Christ, what a lot of listening to you right
I'm just looking at Michael like...
We are in the Pulp Cthulhu version of Perfect Strangers.
Back with the documents.
Right. So the radio tower. Yeah? Yeah, everyone here looks capable of...
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
See, it was just a theory, an idea.
I'm a dead man.
this.
I'm a dead man if it's enemy camp.
Can I check and see how he's doing? If we're on the beach in the sand now, can I check him?
And Claudia's
Yes, you
also,
can.
going to Arturo and be like, does this hurt? Does this hurt? And just poking and making sure he's okay and not like seriously injured or anything.
He has a cut on his face and part of his shoulder got some shrapnel cut, so it's bleeding through the shirt a little bit. But he looks. When we have time to rest, we can take a look at it. I may need some stitches.
What are you looking for, Clevenger?
I'm basically seeing if he's alive. Is there anything that could, if there's a major wound, I got a 22 on my first aid, something to stabilize him? That's mainly what he's looking to do here.
Yeah, great. So you are, as you look him over, he's completely unmoving at this point, but for just a moment, he stirs a bit. The only way you can tell is that his eyes begin to blink. And his voice has a deep rasp. It's obviously very hard for him to breathe. But it looks like he's trying to whisper something to you.
Yeah, I'll lean closer. That's what you do in Cthulhu.
Cassiabar Island. Call for rescue. Radio tower.
What about the village?
Airfield. Japanese airfield. And then he passes out.
He said Japanese airfield.
Oh, so if we do come across anybody, we should pretend to be bad guys.
Allie, is there any anything military around? Encampments, guns, anything that he can see that potentially is a stronghold, something that looks tactical.
Sure. How about spot hidden?
Ugh. I can't believe
I'm
I'm
sorry,
saying ugh.
what was that, Steven?
They're very good for
Your
me now.
favorite role?
Yes, I am.
I know.
I'm now average, and I fail completely. Okay, he's nothing.
Yeah, you're not able to see much of anything that we haven't mentioned already. There is the village and the lighthouse. You can see the two peaks of the island to the south, one to the east, one to the west. They're both quite rocky. The beach continues around to the west as well, but you'd have to go around that point to see what you could see there.
So we're going to go east and up, everyone.
Radio tower.
Right, I'd suggest some kind of formation where the people with guns are maybe one in front, one in back. I don't know how hazardous it's going to be going up.
I suppose that puts me and Arturo in the middle.
Yes.
Okay.
I will take the rear. Mr.
I can lead the way if you'd like, Michael.
No. That was Greg narrowing his eyes at the Italian twins.
Yeah. What time is it? What time? Like how much daylight is left? I guess in this day.
The sun was just coming up as
most of the day.
yeah. So it's early morning.
Can I calculate how long I think it's going to get us there, just in terms of distance? I don't know how thick the undergrowth is, so I can't factor that in.
Sure. Well, from what you would judge, around to the village is maybe 1.25 miles. In terms of getting up to one of the peaks, they only appear to be about maybe 2 miles away, but you don't see any, at this point, any trails that would lead in that direction, at least not from where you're standing right now.
What we do know is, if this is an island with a Japanese airstrip, the village saw us crash. There's no way they didn't see us crash. They're going to come from there here. Our only way to avoid being intercepted is either to have the Italians pretend to be bad guys, or for us to go the other way to the radio tower and hope to get help. I don't know what to do with him. And he points down at the pilot.
Oof.
We're not going to stay in front of them with him.
Let's hide him.
Let's hide him?
Let's hide him, and then we'll come back for him, dude. We are not going to be able to travel with him. We need to hide him in some sort of brush over here, and then we'll come back for him.
What if he needs our help?
Buddy, there ain't no help. There is no. Can you help him?
Arturo, you're pretty strong, right? And she kind of looks between him and Claudia.
Yes, I am.
Maybe Arturo could carry him.
I would not like to leave him behind if we are all going into the jungle together.
Right. I can help cut us a path to make traveling easier. And she kind of undoes her bag real quick and pulls out an old-looking military saber. Yeah.
Look at that thing.
I know.
That's a pig sticker.
It's a very nice sword you have there.
Very, very nice sword.
Very nice sword.
Thank you. I like it. I recovered it from the Dead Sea.
The dead what? There's a sea called Dead Sea? That's
Yes.
stupid.
Yes.
Let's before we cut a trail, let's get in about 50, 75 yards before we start doing that, so they don't know where we are.
Very good idea. So smart.
Right. Arturo?
Anything to spot hidden on the plane yet, Allison? Is there anything that we're missing, maybe, that we could check?
What would you like to check, Stephen?
I don't know. I just feel like we're missing something here. So,
Is there a box of guns sitting on the wing? Did we miss that somehow? That
No,
box of
that's
guns?
a good point, though, because Arturo...
I think we missed something. Something's
Like-
not right.
Did the other guy faint? Because Arturo heard a scream. He was passed out when I got there. So that's a valid question. I don't know why the guy was passed out unless he just fainted of fright.
It is
We
very
got
possible.
shot?
I've seen people faint of fright at the circus with
Did
some of our more dangerous acts.
Was he shot, the unconscious one, when I went up there?
I failed that roll. I don't know the sequence of events, but that's Clevenger saying, assuming he was shot or hit by something.
Did they send any? Anyway, go ahead. Quick on. No, scusi, you go ahead.
Either way, we should probably get going. If there's trouble on plane, we don't want to. We don't want to be around here for very much longer. I do not think.
Claudia's right. Let's move.
Okay.
Arturo will try to see if he can. He wants to take a hard look at the downed pilot to make sure that if he lifts him, that he's not going to do more injury.
As you lean down to examine him, it doesn't look like he's breathing anymore.
CPR.
Arturo puts his ear to the man's mouth to listen. Does he feel any breath at all? Like even a faint breath?
He is not breathing. Please, just give me a minute.
And this is me Googling to make sure that CPR was invented in 1942, because I know it was right around then.
Yeah, it was right around then.
Clevenger's going to
Give me
stop him. Let him go.
No, 1956.
There must be something
I
we
agree.
can
Let
do.
him go.
Let him go. Let him go.
He ain't no Jack Shepherd.
I'm sorry, but you are right. We must go.
Allie, is there anything, any like large
Yes, that's what
greenery?
that.
Any large what?
Greenery
There is a jungle.
close to where we're standing.
You are standing on the beach. The beach is about maybe 50 feet wide. It slopes up toward the jungle. As you look a little more closely, you can see that there appears to be a path or a trail that runs along the edge of the beach and kind of skirts the jungle out toward the village that you could see.
Great. Basically, I'm looking for something to cover our tracks behind us.
There are all kinds of leaves and palm fronds and things of that
Yay.
nature.
Cool.
Can I ask one more question? Is
Of
there any
course.
boxes or anything out of the ordinary scattered about as the plane crashed? Anything out of that in eyesight that we might think that we need to pick up?
Michael's heading towards the jungle. And the cover
about
that
a-
it provides.
How about another spot hidden then for you, Derby? Let's see what you can see.
Finally.
You don't see anything that's sort of fallen out of the plane or anything like that. But as your eyes drift back to the east, you now see what looks like a small group of people. They're coming toward you along the edge of the jungle. Looks like they've probably come from the village with a regular success. Hard to see how many at this point, but somewhere between 3 and 10, maybe.
Time to go. He's right. Mr. Fantastic, or not, Michael is right. Let's get out of here.
Yep, he's over there. Yeah, I'm gonna book it.
So you're just-
will grab the
Please don't fail me now.
Arturo grab the dead man, drag him through the sand, and try to pull him up and sling him over his shoulder as well as he can
Yeah,
to
Claudia,
at least
help.
get him into the work with Claudia.
All right.
I'll take the rear. We need to leave him.
Yeah, Fred catches up with Michael.
And so you're heading straight into the jungle from.
Well, we're trying to get to the transmitter. So if the path leads to the transmitter, we'll do that. I'm spotting hidden just to make sure we don't have any type of, like a man catcher or something like that, because, I'm not going to step on any great big paths of palm fronds. Oh, shit.
Damn, they were ahead of me. So this island has 2 peaks. The radio tower is in the one that is to the east, and so that's southeast of you. In fact, it looks to be almost directly south of the village. The only trail that you have seen at this point is the one that follows the edge of the jungle and goes around toward the village. That's the one that people are approaching you along right now.
Okay, well, and straight into as the crow flies to the transmitter. Unless somebody tells Michael differently, that's what he's doing.
I should be able to navigate us once we're inside.
And are you trying to do this in such a way, you'd mentioned trying to cover your tracks so that you can't be followed?
Yeah, and then we saw people coming. And I assume if Derby could see them, that they could see where we were, like we were in line of sight of each other, so there's no point. No, just move quickly.
Derby goes, "You Italians, which 2 are you good at having shooting ability?" And he pulls out his 1911 and throws it at Arturo. Take this gun.
Arturo slaps it out of the air and knocks it to the ground.
I do not. I'm sorry. I do not.
We We do not shoot.
We do not know how to use the weapons
No,
like that. Not the guns.
no.
Holy shit.
I've never held the gun before.
Fred, how about you? He tosses her the gun. You take this. You need this right now.
Sure. She like pulls out a Luger too.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you are armed.
Yeah, that's from her. That's like from her hip holster or something. That kind of archaeologist.
Look, I know you don't want to shoot people, but right now we are in
Did I
this
say
situation. No, I'm talking. He's talking to the
Oh.
They may not.
They may not be. They may be like, oh no, we must help anyone who survived the crash.
Well, if they start shooting at us, then there will be no surviving the crash. It'll be us dead. So
well, then let us not get shot.
And we're walking, and we're
Yes.
walking.
go. That's fine. Whatever.
Walking and talking.
Yep.
As you're beginning to break trail, as you cross from sand into the jungle, you can begin to hear what sound like voices, perhaps falling down the beach to you.
We could hear it. Can we make out? You said we could hear it. It's canon that we could hear it. Can we understand what they're saying?
How about listen and hard successes here on listen to any of you.
Jesus.
Close to a regular
Nope.
success, not a hard. Don't hear anything. Damn it. Huh?
Your ears are still ringing from the crash, and you can't make out what they're saying.
Do they look armed? I mean, well, we're not really looking at them anymore, but yeah, we're in the jungle.
We're gonna get shot.
Yeah.
We're gonna get malaria.
Yeah, we're at, yeah, no, bye. Bye.
Should we spread out a little bit so that if they start shooting at us?
We're not all in one clump.
Now you're worried about them shooting at us? Just get up the goddamn
Well,
hill.
I wasn't before, but
Now we
you
are.
make me
You made us
afraid.
nervous about the shooting. We were not
No,
worried about the
just-
shooting until you started talking about all the shooting and how we should shoot back, and they didn't even shot at us first.
Stick together. Don't get lost.
A buddy
This is-
system.
Have you ever heard of anticipation?
Yeah, no. What
like-
is that?
Anticipation is what might happen, and if it does, this is what we do, and if it doesn't, then we don't do it. That's the anticipation.
It
We are
might,
more used to improvisation.
might make us harder to track if we're a little quieter.
Well, improv, if they shoot at us, you have the gun and you shoot it back. Improv it.
Shoot the gun, man.
I'm
You're
thinking it
all
might-
going to die.
We're
Arturo
walking
just
and talking.
We're walking and talking, but Arturo does. Once they're in the jungle, he is going to look for a point where he can try to hide in some underbrush this body.
Same.
Hopefully, in such a way that like they won't find it. That's his goal.
Well, that, Arturo, is very easy because the jungle is thick. It's thicker than you've ever seen or experienced. Fred, these are sort of like mangroves. They're all woven together. It's tough going at this point. And in fact, you're only maybe 100 feet into the jungle. The terrain is just starting to sort of begin to climb. When you can hear voices behind you again. This time, this is directly behind you now.
I think they are following.
Can we hear what they're saying now?
Well, they're calling out.
Yeah. Great.
Let's see the rolls.
Thank God, Greg. I never thought
Michael, this is English. Oh there. Hello.
Dialect,
Hello?
accent, inflection. What's the? Can I make out nationality?
Oxford English.
Fuck you, say. Hey, everybody! It's English.
Oh no.
Oh, wait. Does that mean they are
Does that mean we
good
should be good
guys?
guys?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
All right, the Mussolini is bad, and
Bad, very
we do
terrible.
not like
Not
his
like-
policies.
Not at all. No, not Hitler, even worse. It's
You're
just-
the same amount of convincing. That's very good.
You don't have to. We
Hey,
believe you. We believe
Thank you.
You got a dead pile on your shoulder. I believe you. Believe me.
Oh. It's
He
fine.
pulls out his 45 regardless, and he yells back,
Oh, yeah.
"Who are you?"
There's a pause. What? We're friends, mate.
Australia.
Saw the plane go down.
Good day. That's what they say in Australia.
Not in
No,
Australia.
Australian.
Oh well. Oh.
Keep walking, everybody. Keep walking. Michael's gonna stay in the back to let everybody get further ahead. He's gonna hand the transmitter off to Fred. I'll talk to him. Just keep walking.
Right. I mean, if they're British.
Derby goes by him and hands him a grenade right in his hand and says, "Throw that fucker if you have to."
I am not going to do that because it'll hit like 2 feet from me. My throw score is, I'm pretty sure, 5. He's gonna let them. Who are you with?
Who? Oh, who am I with? We come from the village.
In a broader political sense.
Oh, of course. We're with the Allies, mate.
What about the Japanese airfield on the other side of the island?
Yes, there is. My people are building it.
Who are your people?
At this point, you can begin to see, because you've stopped, right?
He's slowly, yeah. So de facto, I mean, he's just kind of creeping to let everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Through the jungle, they're following the way you've come, and Fred's been cutting trail with her saber, so the visibility is a little bit better toward the rear. You can begin to see the man who's speaking to you. He has dark skin and is dressed in a robe, very brightly colored robe. He's carrying a weapon, but it doesn't look like anything modern. And as he sees that you've seen him, he waves like this.
Thanks. We'll be along directly. One of our friends parachuted out somewhere on this side. We're going to find him.
No, you won't be along directly, mate. Not going that way.
What's that you say?
I'm not going that way at all.
Okay, don't go that way.
It gets awfully steep. Unless you've got ropes with you.
What would you suggest, friend? I'm looking to see if they're trying to flank me. I'm looking to see if the guy I'm talking to has friends to the right and the left.
How about a spot hidden?
Yep. That's a hard success.
You can see that there are 3 other men with him. They're carrying clubs, big sticks.
Dead.
But you, that's all you see is them. You don't see any others. Name's Mansoor Ali Alvi, chap.
Oh, Mansoor, we're pretty sure that they went down around that tower up there. What's the best way to get there, Mansoor?
The only way to get to the tower is up via the trail. It's closer to the village. You don't have to worry. The Japanese haven't been there for a week at least.
Hold on. Son of a bitch. That was, by the way, that was me failing my psychology roll, everybody.
I have a question. Allie, would there be any better visibility from being higher up?
If you could get to the top, you'd be able to look down over the jungle and out to the beach. But the jungle is so thick at this point that your visibility is extremely limited. The only reason that that Mr. Fantastic can see the people coming is because you've cut a trail for them.
Mm-hmm.
And where's everyone else in position from Mr. Fantastic? Has everyone else continued to go into the forest and into the jungle further?
Mm-hmm.
I would be the closest one to Michael.
Arturo I rolled a stealth check. I wanted the idea was Arturo like just vanished, like he just stepped back. He's climbed up onto a tree that's next to Michael, like, and he's crouched on a limb and he's kind of watching from above. So he's not gone off with the rest of the group. He's with Michael.
Okay. Great. Why don't you give me a spot hidden as well then? You're able to see the four of them. They're all dressed very similarly. And that's about it. I've given you my name. What's yours? You sound like an American.
Yes, my name is Monsieur Fantastique.
It's a terrible French accent, mate.
Meant to be.
Look, the Japanese must have seen you crash. They're going to be coming this way.
And you're
headed to the
with them.
radio. No. They've taken every man in my village. Slave labor, mate. How they build things, you know.
All right, let's take your trail then. Michael's gonna start walking towards them.
Hearing, because I assume we're still within earshot. I mean, Fred wouldn't have.
Yeah, Claudia wouldn't have left earshot.
So,
especially if Arturo vanished, she would have just climbed up a tree too.
So if Michael's walking toward them, then she will too, though not from the same angle.
The man that you were speaking to, Mansoor Ali Alvi, continues. He walks toward you as well to meet you. He's slung the rifle over his shoulder. At this distance, you're able to see it's a musket for all intents and purposes. Very, very old. But if you're not going to do anything, he'll continue to approach.
Derby will. Hold on now.
He doesn't put his gun away. He has it behind him.
You don't want to be filled full buckshot now. Hold on now.
Oh, well, it's all right. I'm here to help.
Okay, but we don't know that.
I've told you We can hide. We can hide you. We can help you get to the radio tower. We can get you off of this island. So certainly not your final destination.
All right, let's do it. And he puts his gun away in his holster.
Why are they so willing to help us? He kind of leans into Fred. Why are they so willing to help us?
English hospitality.
Yeah, I guess. I'm Southern hospitality, so I see it, I guess. I don't know.
You've all gathered, or you're all gathering around
Claudia
him.
slides down the tree. Dook.
Yeah, Arturo swings from the branch and drops down.
Oh, well, how fantastic. Welcome, my friends, to Cassiabar Island. I'm sorry that it could not be under better circumstances. As I said to your friend here, Mr. Fantastic, my name is Monsieur Ali Alvi. I am the Tuhet of Kinmai. This is my village, one of 2 small villages here on the island. The Japanese have been here for almost a month. They're building an airfield on the eastern coast. That's their radio tower, but if you'd like to get to it, you won't have trouble with them. It's been at least a week since they were there last, and I don't think they'll be going back for some time.
Why's that?
Well, they met Shiva. This is Shiva's island, you see.
Sorry. What?
Shiva. The Lord Shiva.
No, I heard you. I just don't really know what you mean.
I mean exactly what I said. They had a nasty scrape with the Lord Shiva. This is his island.
Could you tell us literally what happened to them?
I think I just did. Are you hard of hearing, my dear?
Yes, actually.
How many went to the tower and how many came back?
Well, how many went, I don't know. A squad, perhaps? There aren't many here at all to begin with. It's a small engineering group. And as I said, my people are the ones who are doing most of the construction under the guns of the Japanese. But only one came back. This is Shiva's island. And Shiva has awoken. And that is where we're going to end this evening. And the introduction to our tale of Project Hyperion. Hurrah! Welcome to 1942, friends.
I want to keep playing.
Me too. But unfortunately, our time for tonight has come to a close. So with that, let's go around the horn, and I would love to hear a little bit from each one of you. What did you think? How are you feeling here on Shiva's island? Lindy, let's start with you.
Oh boy, I'm first. Hi. That was super fun. I love this group already. Everybody's characters are super interesting, and our twins are so wholesome and wonderful and great and terrible. Never fired or held a gun in their lives. They're so pure. They're beautiful, and I can't wait to play more of them. Super fun. Yeah, just can't wait to find out more about Shiva's Island and get to that radio tower where we're just gonna get a nice little SOS signal and everything will be great. Yeah, you can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy. on the Twitches and the Twitters, where I play in about a dozen or so tabletop RPGs a week. This month on my channel on Fridays, I'm doing a mini Mouse Guard campaign to kind of like a learn by play. So you guys should check that out. It's from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. And then also on Tuesday evenings from 9 to 11 Eastern, Mr. Ravenloft, so spooky old 1st to 2nd edition modules bumped up to 5th edition. So you should check it out.
Thank you so much, Lindy. Let's hear from the other Luciano twin. Don, what do you think?
Ah, man. So this was a really great introduction to everybody's characters. Having watched all of Athena, seeing everybody come in with entirely different characters is so much fun. Love the world building that I've already seen, the way that you started off this episode with getting us into the events that brought us to now, both historically and with our characters. I love that part of it. I love the plane was a great introduction to the characters. And then the hook that I didn't see coming with the island. For anybody who doesn't know this about me, I Lost is my shit. It is my I watch that all. I've probably watched the entire series 6 or 7 times, and anything that is remotely mysterious, dangerous island to me is the best. So I'm really looking forward to what's going on, and I love playing twins with Lindy, and I loved everybody else's characters. I'm really excited for next week. You can find me online at Donathan Fry. I do stuff. Wednesday, I run on this channel May Black Roses Bloom, our ongoing epic dark fantasy Dragonlance D&D campaign with Allison and Greg and everybody else here. All their projects, check them out. They are awesome people.
Don, thank you so much. I love these twins. I love them so much. It's a fantastic character concepts. And when I thought you were going to grab the gun and be a badass. And then when you knocked it down, I was like, oh my God, that's right. He doesn't know how to shoot. Fascinating. Speaking of throwing guns around, Steven, how you doing?
I love being in the middle. That's where I was at with the weight. So I'm back in the middle. I love this. I literally failed everything tonight. It was, but I absolutely I loved it. I love the opposite of literally with the weight, I succeeded with spot hidden. I succeeded with shooting. Everything was success. I'm not lying. It was success. What I did, listening, whatever. But now, it's a completely different character. I love it. I am so pumped for this. I could have literally played for another 2 or 3 hours. I'm completely all in. I love the characters. I love the story. I am ready to go. So I wish it was next Sunday. That's how excited I am. So Allison, you did a beautiful job. Thank you. I don't know who's in chat, but thank you. Thanks to everybody. Allison, you are amazing. I am so ready for this. So let's get going.
Thank you, Stephen. This story's hardly even started yet. Just wait. Lauren.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I had a blast. I don't want to stop playing. I love everyone's characters so much. So much. What else do I have to say? I want it to be Sunday, but that's been the case for about a year where I just want to skip my week and go to Sunday. And looks like that will be continuing for the rest of my life. So yay, me. Sorry. I am Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter. I'm part of the team here at Tales from the Grim. I run a Lady Blackbird campaign tomorrow night here at 9 Eastern, Wild Blue Yonder, with so many awesome people. And so you should check that out if you like space and feels. We also have something special coming up this month that I think I will let Greg talk about. But yeah, you can find me around the internet. I play games with my friends at Off the Table and at the Scraticus Academy. And then back here. Yep, that's me.
Awesome. Definitely check out Wild Blue Yonder. It's a blast. It's so much fun. Love the world, love the characters, love the system. Amazing stuff. Definitely check it out. Mr. Fantastic, I'm going to pass it off to you in just a moment. But before I do, I will say, look, I've been building this world for y'all for like a month. I love this period of time. I love this setting. I love the way that that you did exactly what I expected you to do, and also completely blew up my expectations for what I thought you would do. Chat, I've been setting them up for a couple of days now, that tonight was just going to be we're just going to kind of get things going, get to know each other. And then I threw a plane crash at them. So that's what you can expect from me as a keeper for the next 11 or 12 weeks or so. I loved every second of it. I love your characters. I just so excited to be sharing this with you. You can find me here on the channel on Wednesday nights, as Dawn said, on May Black Roses Bloom. And check me out on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y, and see what else I'm doing there. That's it from me until next week. Greg, thanks so much for letting us play in your playground again.
And it's our playground. Everybody, our playground. And I had an absolutely great, fantastic time, you might say. And I love all of the characters. I love being able to play. And Allison, I am hooked, lined, and stinkered. I am in it to win it. I love this. I didn't think I'd like any of the characters. No, I'm joking. I didn't think that I would know so much about them already, and by about them that I completely distrust the 2 Italian twins. But it's going to be great. I can't wait. I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitter. You are in Tales from the Grim on the Twitch. As everybody has already mentioned, we have some fantastic programming over the course of the week. Wild Blue Yonder tomorrow. May Black Roses Bloom on Wednesday. We've got Mad Mage on Thursday. And we have, coming back around the horn, we will have Highlander starting 4 Eastern on Sundays, followed, of course, by the show you just watched, Project Hyperion, 7 on Sundays. It's great. The other thing that Lauren alluded to before, we have a new initiative here at the channel in an effort to pay our casts, because if we don't value our own creativity and art contributions, who will? And beyond all of that, instead of being tongue-in-cheek, it is an effort to make sure that the time and passion that you see the casts and DMs put into all of this is not rewarded, because a reward says you got something for doing little. This is compensation for doing a lot. And the art of creation so desperately needs to be compensated, especially in this day and age. So what we're doing, long story longer, we are having a new show called Monthly Madness. I saw the link up in chat. Please go over to our Discord if you haven't already. Go down to the one-shot section. You will see the list of exactly what's going on. We have several wonderful ideas and projects that you can vote on using reactions inside Discord. Vote on the one that you would like to see, and a smorgasbord of violence that will be consisted of the various casts of the show will come together to run through said Monthly Madness, and any donations generated during that fun-filled romp will be given directly to our cast. It is the first of many initiatives we have. It is a work in progress, as is any good story. And as we are a collective narrative here on Tales from the Grim, so too are we a collective community with the Legion, with the cast, with the DMs, with everyone. We are here to tell tales, have them told to us, sit around the campfire, and smile. So with that being said, again, I'm absolutely floored by all of that's happened tonight and on Highlander earlier. Allison, fantastic job. Everyone, just love the characters. Can't wait till next week. And I'll take us out unless anybody else has anything. Nothing? Oh, stuff coming in. Thank you all. You're awesome. It's Bill. It's TV. Thank you, guys. So I will say this as the campfire slowly goes down, there's only one thing left to say. Can't always roll nat 20s unless you're fantastic, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.